One thing I found out was that when Lovable first started, it was called GPT for engineers before they named it Lovable and launched it.
Yeah.
Did you have a name for it before Airo AI Builder?
Well, interestingly, the initial name I picked was Airo App Builder. I'm kind of boring with naming, so I don't like to do some fancy code word or whatever. I guess I'm similar to Lovable in that. Just picked a name that explained what it did. Uh, so we haven't had too huge of a change on that.
I was having a chat with the internal comms team and they asked me a question about how did it all start. And I had no idea. And Dinesh told me, you should talk to Josh. He's your
Sure.
guy. Yeah.
All right. So early last year, we started hearing about Lovable. I mean, we'd already been starting to use Cursor and things like that. And the partners team had a regular meeting on incubating new products. And so I've been going to those meetings as an engineering representative and looking at the new ideas that were coming out. I just didn't see anything super exciting. And so I started brainstorming and thought, well, if all these new vibe coding platforms are taking off, what's that going to do to web presence? And maybe we should have one. So I wrote an initial paper, maybe in May, something like that, about the concept, what was going on in the space, and not the idea of what Airo AI Builder became, but just we should have some sort of AI hosting. Maybe we should build something comparable to Lovable. Maybe we should build a hosting platform that was designed around hosting AI built sites. So we talked about that for a while, and then eventually around mid-year, I built an initial prototype just to see, well, how hard is it to build one of these? I spent about a week on it, and it was hard, and it didn't work that well. You know, it's the first kind of, well, A app that I had built using AI as the primary coder. It was, I think we were still on Sonnet 3.7 at that point, which was much less capable than 4 series. And so it just kind of, all right, well, that was an interesting demo. We know it's going to take a lot of resources to move forward. We have some other priorities. Let's work on them for a while. And so we worked on those priorities for a couple of other months. Sonnet 4 came out. We had been starting to do a big AI push at GoDaddy. So I got better at building agents and that sort of thing. And Bala asked me to try again and just see, could we do something? And so this time I took a slightly different approach. I started by kind of exploring the idea space a little bit. What would it look like building some prototypes without figuring out the back end first? That seemed pretty good. And then did another week push on building an actual agent. And I kind of learned a lot of things in the first one about how trying to get a bunch of tech details right to make things nicer long term could take a lot of time, but they wouldn't actually answer the question of could we make an agent that could code well. So instead of focusing on those kind of harder technical problems, I tried to focus just on the building of an agent. And this time it was super successful. I got better at the tools. LLMs have gotten better. I understood the problem space more. And from there, once we had that basic concept working, we started pulling in people from other teams, from Udai's team in India initially, and we just kind of really focused on that. Each milestone being very small. What is the next hard problem? The initial goal was really proving that basic build loop we could do at high quality. And then after we succeeded with that, we're like, okay, well, now we want to put this in front of customers. We need a hosting environment for it. And I had just the year before been working with building the WordPress platform. So I knew we had a platform there we could reuse. So we brought in some people from that team, and then they built a hosting platform that we could use. And we just kind of, each time we faced the next challenge, okay, now we have a hosting platform. How do we manage provisioning? So we pulled in some people from the hosting teams who had worked on provisioning workflows and then billing. And that's how we slowly built up the team over time. Just kind of each time we faced a problem, we tried to bring in expertise for solving that problem. Well, at the same time, kind of having this iteration of, well, everybody is in the space is moving fast and new models are coming out always, and we have to keep improving that basic loop as well. And that's kind of where we are today. Of a small core part of the team focuses on that build quality, improving that experience, where at this point, actually, a larger group of people works on all the things around it, connecting to other GoDaddy systems, adding in commerce support, making it so that we can build customers, so that we have SEO on the site, so people can log in successfully. All those larger pieces that are needed for a great product, but still always going back to the core experience is most important.
What is the biggest challenge that you're trying to solve for today?
Well, personally, I'm focused on build quality right now still. And the biggest challenge that we have is picking images. So we have this large stock library from Getty, which is great. It's larger than what most of our competitors have access to. But that makes the challenge of picking the right image even harder. And that also means there's literally millions of bad images in there that look super stock, and you put them on your site and it looks really bad. And so kind of building better search quality tools, and then also building in some new workflows so that customers can more easily change out the images when we do get it wrong.
If you could name it anything, what would you name it?
Not sure, like, suppose if it was going to be just a standalone product and Airo was the brand of the company, then Airo Builder would be a good name. Like, I don't feel like you need to put a bunch of extra words in it. But if we wanted GoDaddy in front of it, right now it's GoDaddy Airo AI Builder. I would just rather call it GoDaddy Builder, because the nice thing about it is it's a pretty expansive product at the end of the day. Like, that's what makes it different than, say, Websites Plus Marketing, is it can build more than a website, or different than WordPress. And so I'd rather lean into that expansiveness rather than try to lock it down into a more narrow scope.
Thank you, Josh. Happy Friday. Hope you have a great weekend.
You too. Bye.